knitting, beautiful blouse for girl, beautiful sweater for girl, beautiful jumper for girl. Hello, in this video lesson I'm going to show you how to work this blouse for girl, jumper for girl. It has an eyelet pattern. The height is 110 centimeters. This is for the age 4 or 5 years, depending on the height of the child. So if you like this, let's start. For knitting this jumper we need circular knitting needles with a diameter 2.5 millimeters and the circular knitting needles the diameter 3.5 millimeters. This is for knitting the eyelet pattern. So we are going to use the knitting needles with a diameter 2.5 millimeters for knitting the collar and shoulders, the upper part, the rib of the upper part, and for the knitting of the lower part, the rib of the lower part, we are going to use the 2.5 millimeters diameter knitting needles. But the eyelet stitch we are going to work with the circular knitting needles, the diameter 3.5 millimeters. We also need the needle for sewing the seam and the yarn, baby yarn. Here is 100 gram and 320 meters. I use 2 balls of this yarn. That is all we need for knitting this jumper. So let's get started. I have casted on the knitting needle 2.5 millimeters 75 stitches. I have casted on 75 stitches and have worked 4 centimeters upward by rib, one by one rib. Then turn the work to the wrong side, and this is the last row of our rib. In this row we are going to add 7 additional stitches. In every 10 stitches we are going to add a stitch through every 10 stitches the following way. This is the last row of our rib. We are going to add the stitches the following way. Now we use the diameter 3.5 millimeters. Slip the edge stitch, then purl one, knit one, 10 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then make 1 knit. Pick up the running thread, pick up the bar in between of the stitches and make 1 knit. Then again purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Then again make 1 knit, pick up the bar and knit, make 1 knit. This is the second added stitch, and we continue the same. Add 1 stitch through every 10 stitches, and so we add 7 additional stitches. Again purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, alternate 10 stitches every rib. Then again make 1 knit, then again purl 1, knit 1. We have just worked till the end of this row and we have added 7 additional stitches, and now we have 82 stitches on the knitting needle. Then turn the work, and now we are going to work the eyelet pattern. according to the scheme. The report consists of 16 stitches and 12 rows. Here we have only right side rows numbered, because all the wrong side rows we purl. The empty cell is knit stitch, U is yarn over, this V with 2 is knit 2 stitches together, and the arrows means the brooch, arrow upward and arrow downward, with a little difference of brooch. I will explain it to you. Knitting. So let's work the first row of our eyelet pattern. Slip the edge stitch. This is the first row. Knit 1, the full knit 1, the empty cell is knit 1, then you yarn over, then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over, then upward arrow means the brooch, the following way: slip 1, then knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch, pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch, then yarn over, then knit 2 stitches together, knit 2 stitches together, then yarn over, then knit 2, then arrow upward means the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 2 and yarn over. This is the report of our pattern in this row. Further, we simply repeat this report till the end of the row. Simply repeat these 16 stitches. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over again, then again the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch, then yarn over, then knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit 2, then again make the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch, then knit 2 and yarn over, and repeat this report again, and so do till the end of the row. We have just worked till the end of the first row of our eyelet pattern, then turn the work, slip the edge stitch and purl all the stitches till the end of the second row. The second row is the purls, is the wrong side row, and we purl all the stitches of this row. We purl all the stitches of each wrong side row. We purl all the wrong side rows. of this eyelet pattern. We have just worked till the end of the second row. We purled all the stitches, then turn the work, and let's do the third row of our eyelet pattern. Look at the scheme. This is the third row. Slip the edge stitch, then knit one, then yarn over, then knit 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then yarn over and the upward arrow. This means the brooch. The following way: slip 1, then knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then yarn over, then knit 2, then again the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 2 and yarn over. So we have just worked the report of this row. First we simply repeat this report till the end of the row. Repeat this report again till the end of the row. We have just worked till the end of the third row, then turn the work, slip the edge stitch and purl all the stitches till the end of the fourth row. The fourth row is the wrong side row, and we purl across. Purl, just keep purling till the end of the fourth row. We purl all the wrong side rows. We have just purled till the end of the fourth row, then turn the work to the right side, and let's do the fifth row. Slip the edge stitch, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, then the brooch, upward arrow. This is the brooch. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 3, then yarn over. Then we have downward arrow. This means the brooch, but we do it a little different way. Slip the stitch, slip 1, then knit 1, not knit 2 stitches together, but knit 1, and then pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Previously we knitted 2 stitches together and then pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitches, but this time we knitted 1 stitch, then yarn over, then knit 1, then the brooch, the upward arrow. In this brooch we slip 1 and knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. So we have just worked the report of this row. Further, we simply repeat this report till the end of the row. We have just worked the 5th row, then turn the work and let's do the 6th row. This is the wrong side row. Slip the edge stitch and purl all the stitches till the end of the 6th row. I remind you that we purl all the wrong side rows. We purl all the even rows. All the wrong side rows we purl. We have just purled till the end of the 6th row. Then turn the work and let's do the 7th row. Slip the edge stitch and work the following way. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, then the brooch, upward arrow, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over, then the downward arrow. This is the brooch, but different way. Slip 1, knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then yarn over, then the upward arrow. This is the brooch. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, knit 2 stitches together, and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then yarn over, then knit 3 and yarn over. And further we simply repeat this report till the end of the row. We have just worked till the end of the 7th row, then turn the work to the wrong side, slip the edge stitch and purl all the stitches of the 8th row. Purl all the stitches. We purl all the even rows. We purl all the wrong side rows. Just keep purling till the end of the 8th row. Now the 9th row. Slip the edge stitch, knit 1, yarn over, then knit 1, then the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over and the brooch. Again, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then yarn over, then knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and yarn over. This is the 9th row. This is the report of this row. Further, we simply repeat this report till the end of the 9th row. We have just worked till the end of the 9th row, then turn the work to the wrong side. And let's do the 10th row. Slip the edge stitch and purl all the stitches till the end of the 10th row. The 10th row is the wrong side row and we purl it. We purl all the wrong side rows. Just keep purling till the end of the 10th row. We have just worked till the end of the 10th row, then turn the work and let's do the 11th row. The 11th row. slip the edge stitch, then knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, then yarn over, then knit 1, then the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 1, yarn over, then knit 2 stitches together, knit 2 stitches together, then yarn over, then knit 2, then the brooch, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, and pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then knit 2 and yarn over. This is the report of this row. Further, we simply repeat this report till the end of the 11th row. We have just worked the 11th row, and we purl the 12th row, because it is the wrong side row. We purl till the end of the 12th row, and further we simply repeat from the 1st till the 12th row. Repeat over and over again upward from the 1st till the 12th row. If you like this, click like, visit my channel, subscribe. For the continuation, watch part 2. Beautiful blouse for girl. We have just worked our eyelet pattern 33 centimeters from the rib, repeating over and over again our pattern. Further, we are going to work 5 centimeters upward the rib stitch, one by one rib stitch, 5 centimeters upward. We have just worked the rib stitch 5 centimeters upward. We are going to bind off the stitches. Turn the work to the wrong side. We are going to bind off the stitches from the wrong side the following way. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle, and repeat over and over the same. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Continue the same till the end of the row, binding off the stitches. Do not tighten very hard, do not tighten too much, because it is going to be the shoulder. We have just bound off the stitches. This is the back of our blouse. This is the rib, 4 centimeters length. Here's our eyelet pattern, 33 centimeters length, and the rib 5 centimeters upward. And the front part we work the same way as this part. So we work the front part the same way as we worked the back part. we have just worked the front part of our blouse the same way as we work the back part. 4 centimeters the rib, the 33 centimeters of the eyelet stitch, eyelet pattern, and 5 centimeters upward rib from the upper side. So this is the back and this is the front part. Further, we are going to work the sleeves. I have cast on 50 stitches in order to work the sleeve. 50 stitches. Further, we are going to work 8 rows upward by garter stitch. Slip the edge stitch and knit all the stitches in all the rows. Garter stitch means that you just keep knitting in all the rows. Knit all the stitches in all the rows. Knit by garter stitch 8 rows upward. Just keep knitting. Just keep knitting. We have just worked 8 rows upward by garter stitch. Now we are going to work the eyelet pattern. We have 50 stitches on the knitting needle, but in every eighth row we add 1 stitch from both sides. 1 stitch after the first stitch in the beginning of the row. Here is 1 stitch. We add 1 stitch in every 8th row. In between of the first and the second stitch we add 1 stitch, and in between of the last and next to the last stitch we add 1 stitch. We add stitches in every 8th row. In the beginning and at the end of the row we are going to add 7 times in every 8th row. And the length of our eyelet pattern is going to be 28 or 30 centimeters. The length of our sleeve from the beginning of the rib until the end of the sleeve is going to be 30 centimeters upward. 30 centimeters. We have just worked the sleeve, the necessary length from here. We added stitches from both sides in each 8th row. Further, we are going to bind off the stitches. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Just repeat the same. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Bind off the stitches. Repeat the same till the end of the row. Do not tighten too much the stitches. Don't tighten too much the stitches. Bind off the stitches. Knit 2 stitches together, slip the resulting stitch back to the main needle. Repeat the same till the end of the row. And the second sleeve we work the same way as the first sleeve. We have just bound off the stitches and we work the second sleeve the same way as the first sleeve. We have just worked the second sleeve It is ready. Further, we are going to sew the side seam of our sleeve. We're going to sew the side seam of our sleeve. Then we sew the front and the back parts of our blouse. Turn them to the wrong side and sew the side seams from the wrong side. And I have marked the distances for the shoulders from both sides. I have marked the pins, 8 centimeters length from the edge from both sides, 8 centimeters length of each shoulder. We have sew the seam of the shoulders, and the collar is 17 centimeters. The collar is 17 or 18 centimeters. So the side seam of the shoulders from both sides. We have just sewn the side seams of the shoulders from the wrong side. Here you can see it. Further, we sew the side seams of the front and back parts and sew the sleeves. We have just sewn the sleeves, and finally we have such a jumper for a girl. If you like this, click like, visit my channel, subscribe. I wish you all good. Goodbye.